Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and we're kind of happy that we qualified for the GRIP grant coming out of DOE this week. That was good news for Alaska. Not quite the hydrogen hub. We're still in the ENVI category there, and we're continuing to work on that. We did get a communication that we were being discouraged on that, but we will not be discouraged because we've got extraordinary opportunity, as I think most of you know. This first question, Mr. Shaw, should be super easy, and it follows on Senator Hickenlooper talking about the critical minerals. You mentioned the graphite project there in Louisiana. You've heard me, and the Secretary has heard me comment that I think it's better if we can get the domestic resource here. That's why we call it domestic resource. Let's get it here. Let's not get it in Mozambique. I would just hope that you can commit to this committee that the LPO will prioritize loan applicants that are developing domestic sources and U.S.-based supply chains for our critical minerals. That should be an easy one, I hope.
We absolutely believe that we should be onshoring and reshoring our entire critical mineral supply chain, and I completely agree with you, Senator.
Good, good. Let me talk about a couple of our big projects, neither of which are new to either one of you. I mentioned GRIP and our grid modernization. That's really exciting, I think, for our potential moving forward. Another one that we have been working on for decades and decades is how we can monetize and move our natural gas from the North Slope. It's big, and you know it's big, but it also has extraordinary potential, not only for Alaska's energy security, the entire West Coast, our partners and allies in Asia who are very, very interested in this. And during the negotiations of the infrastructure law, we asked the department, what's the language that we need to allow the gas line to qualify for a loan guarantee from the LPO? And we got the necessary language. We reviewed it. We all agreed that it worked. We included it into the bipartisan infrastructure bill. It was signed into law. And I know we all have different lawyers that can come up with different legal arguments, but we're looking at the response now from DOE and kind of saying it feels like we got the rug pulled out from underneath us with regards to where the department is coming from in the authorities there. So the question this morning, and to either one of you, is whether or not you're aware of any authorities that either you or the Secretary has to utilize already appropriated dollars for the purposes that were laid out in this infrastructure law. And I'm hoping that we're going to be able to resolve this to make sure that we are meeting the intent under the laws there. So any comments that you may have on this? We just met with the governor yesterday on this and trying to get some clarification from the department.
Thank you, Senator. As you know, I have regularly met with the team that's working on developing that project, and I think we've also continued to provide technical assistance to your staff and the rest of the delegation. You know, the goal here is to have American innovators and entrepreneurs be able to build their projects here in the United States, and so I think we're fully aligned with your intent here around making sure these big projects come to fruition.
Well, you can understand the frustration, though, when we worked with the department to get the assistance on the language. We all thought that we were pretty clear here, and now the law is in place, and we've got differing interpretations. I'm hopeful that we're going to see in this next budget that the Secretary includes whatever resources are necessary to establish this program in the office, if you believe it goes otherwise. But we continue to be pushing on this. And again, we feel pretty strongly that the Secretary has the authorities to move forward with this. Let me move forward to another big project. And again, this is one where you have great familiarity. This is one of my favorite geothermal projects in Alaska, trying to develop the Murkowski project outside of Unalaska in the Aleutian chain. The chairman is very familiar with it as well. But it's exciting because what this would do is decarbonize one of the busiest fishing ports by volume in the world, not just in the United States, but in the world. And McCussion's been doing their due diligence. They've been working with the Q tribe there in Unalaska for years. Trident Seafoods, significant seafood producers looking to decarbonize their own processes. They've developed plans to move their processing facility to Unalaska to capitalize on this renewable power from McCussion. So together, it's extraordinary what can happen. It's transformative what can happen. And it's kind of one of these chicken and egg type things right now. And we've got significant large-scale infrastructure projects that are contingent on completion of some of these energy innovations. So what we're trying to do, as you all know, is reduce emissions. We're all in agreement here. This works for everybody. And so we need to be able to be working together to get to yes, rather than continuing to find ways that if you haven't met this chronological, gate here, we can't move forward. There is so much riding on this, and I need to emphasize and re-emphasize the significance of what this can mean, not just for the state, but for a global seafood industry. But again, we're trying to stand on our own here, and we just need a little bit of help. So if either one of you have any great updates that you can share with me, that would be very welcome.
Senator, as you know, I'm not allowed to share any details under the Trade Secrets Act from folks who have applied to Loan Programs Office. But what I will say is that we've had a great partnership with your office and the state of Alaska. As you know, your state energy financing institution provision in the bill has been fully implemented. We've onboarded ADA. Right. As a CEFI.
And they're very excited about that.
As well as we're looking at several other institutions in Alaska to do that. We've also hired, I think Joe Jacobson in Alaska to really focus on making sure we're providing the customer service that we need to all the extraordinary projects that we're seeing out of your state.
Mr. Chairman, I have a whole bunch of other questions I'll submit for the record, but I look forward to follow up with both you, Mr. Crane, and Mr. Shaw, and to RIG. Thank you for your work. I appreciate it.